Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 2026 0512. Today, we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. We start in Brussels, where the European Commission is preparing what's being widely referred to as a tech sovereignty package, a regulatory initiative that could significantly restrict the use of non EU cloud platforms for processing sensitive public sector data. According to reporting by CNBC and TechSpot, the package is expected to be presented on May 27th and may define specific sectors whose workloads must be hosted on European cloud capacity. Sources cited by CNBC say discussions include highly sensitive categories such as health, financial, and legal records. Importantly, the restrictions would reportedly apply to public sector workloads, not private companies. Politico reports that the package will include a Cloud and AI Development Act. Thibaut Kleiner, Director for Future Networks at the European Commission, is quoted as warning that unless Europe develops its own capacity, it risks becoming what he called a technological colony. The rhetoric underscores how seriously EU policymakers are framing digital sovereignty. The implications for US hyperscalers are obvious. Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, and Google currently dominate large swaths of European cloud infrastructure. If public sector procurement shifts towards certified European providers, we could see a multi-year reconfiguration of contracts, certifications, and architecture decisions across member states. From a technical standpoint, these transitions are rarely trivial. Data residency and jurisdictional isolation requirements introduce integration challenges. Teams will need to reconcile sovereign cloud APIs with existing tooling ecosystems. Interoperable identity and security standards become critical to avoid lock-in while maintaining compliance. And the real test will be scale, whether European cloud providers can deliver capacity, reliability, and feature parity under tighter regulatory scrutiny. Keep an eye on the final definitions in the May 27 publication. What qualifies as sensitive, whether restrictions apply to hosting, processing, or both, and what procurement mechanisms enable local vendors to scale. Next, a major commercial shift in one of AI's most consequential partnerships. The information reports that OpenAI and Microsoft have agreed to cap total revenue sharing payments at $38 billion. The same frames the renegotiated deal as producing up to $97 billion in savings for OpenAI through 2030. For context, Tech in Asia reports that Microsoft invested about $13 billion in OpenAI through early 2023 and later received a 27% stake. China Daily Asia reports that the revised terms were intended to allow OpenAI greater flexibility to pursue additional partnerships. This is not a model release, but it may be just as important strategically. Revenue sharing caps change long-term economics. They limit payout exposure for OpenAI while preserving Microsoft's role as a foundational cloud and commercialization partner. For practitioners, the impact is subtle but real. When revenue share terms shift, so does the marginal cost structure of hosted APIs. That affects cost modeling, long-term contract negotiations, and the calculus between self-hosting and vendor-managed endpoints. It also signals competitive repositioning. If OpenAI has more flexibility to pursue partnerships beyond Microsoft Azure, we may see broader infrastructure diversification in the coming years. We'll be watching for any regulatory filings or formal disclosures that clarify thresholds and tranche mechanics, as well as announcements of new commercial integrations that reflect the revised structure. Now to cybersecurity, where OpenAI has launched Daybreak, described on its official site as Frontier AI for Cyber Defenders. Daybreak is not a single model, but a stack. It combines frontier OpenAI models with an agentic codex security harness and specialized cyber models such as GPT 5.5-Cyber. According to OpenAI's Daybreak page and coverage from The Verge and Decrypt, the system is designed to embed AI directly into code review, threat modeling, vulnerability validation, and patch remediation workflows. Capabilities reportedly include secure code review, automated threat modeling from repositories, vulnerability detection and validation in isolated environments, automated patch generation and testing directly in repositories, dependency risk analysis, malware analysis, and detection engineering. The architecture matters here. Rather than simply scanning code, Daybreak integrates reasoning across large code bases with isolated validation environments to confirm exploitability and test patches before deployment. OpenAI says it is working with industry and government partners as it prepares to deploy increasingly cyber capable models. The operational stakes are high. Model driven code scanning can dramatically reduce triage time, but false positives and unsafe patches remain critical risks. Industry patterns suggest that success will hinge on reproducible validation environments, scoped repository access, audit ready logging, and strong human in the loop governance. Independent evaluations of detection accuracy and patch correctness will determine whether Daybreak becomes a staple of CI/CD pipelines or remains a promising experiment. Finally, another major supply chain warning for developers. According to Microsoft's threat intelligence team, as reported by GB Hackers, version 2.4.6 of the Mistral AI package on PyPI contained injected malicious code in Mistral AI client initialization files. The malicious logic reportedly executed automatically on import on Linux hosts, set an environment flag called Mistral init, and attempted to download a secondary payload from the IP address 83.142.209.194, saving it as /tmp/transformers.pyz before executing it. The secondary payload functioned as a credential stealer. Even more concerning, the malware included geo-aware logic that avoided Russian-language environments and contained a destructive branch with a 1 in 6 chance of executing a recursive file deletion command when indicators suggested the system was in Israel or Iran. Indicators of compromise reportedly include artifacts such as pgmonitor.py and a pgsqlmonitor.service-systemd unit. This is a textbook supply chain compromise. Code executing on import, masquerading with machine learning adjacent file names, and targeting developer environments where cloud credentials and CI/CD secrets are often accessible. Teams should audit for version 2.4.6, search for the listed artifacts, and monitor outbound traffic to the referenced IP address. Now, for a few other key updates in our lightning round. Bloomberg reports that SoftBank founder Masayoshi Son has discussed a major AI data center project in France with President Emmanuel Macron, floating a potential investment of up to $100 billion. Reuters corroborated the talks, but said details remain unverified. Reuters also noted SoftBank has invested more than $30 billion in OpenAI to date. If formalized, a project of this scale could reshape European AI infrastructure and intensify competition for GPU supply and grid capacity. On the research front, the Arxiv preprint Datamaster towards autonomous data engineering for machine learning, submitted by Yaxin Du and colleagues on May 11th, proposes a data agent framework that optimizes data pipelines while keeping the learning algorithm fixed. The system combines a data tree search structure, a shared data pool, and a global memory. The authors report a 32.27% improvement in metal rate on MLE Bench Lite and 31.02% on GPQA versus 30.35% for the Instruct model on Post-Train Bench. It's another concrete step in the data-centric AI movement. In developer security, a mini Shai-Hulud worm has reportedly hijacked 169 popular NPM packages, including Tanstack Mistral AI. The threat actor identified as Team PCP allegedly used stolen OIDC tokens to propagate across dependencies, underscoring once again that identity infrastructure is now a primary attack surface in software supply chains. And in defense technology, DARPA's Tactical Technology Office has issued a request for information under Opportunity DARPA SN 26-33, seeking containerized systems capable of launching, recovering, and sustaining autonomous constellations of up to 500 Group 1 to 3 drones. The concept emphasizes full mission cycle autonomy, including recharge or refuel and swap out, pointing to rising demand for resilient edge AI, secure mesh communications, and hardened autonomy stacks in contested environments. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.